Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. Have a bit of a chat about what's happened in Spain over the last week or so, and it's all about election promises, and wow, there have been some absolute doozies, so stay tuned. Now I'll get the weather out of the way as I normally do. Beautiful day today, as you can see, around 32, 33 degrees Celsius, not a cloud in the sky, absolutely beautiful weather. And most importantly, not too hot. But of course, that's here where I am in Madrid. In some other parts of the country, it might be pretty hot. So, what's been happening in Spain over the last week or so? Well, as I said before, it's all about election promises, because as we know, we're now in the middle of an election campaign, and wow, some promises and interesting ideas have been put on the table, especially when it comes to the hard left and the hard right side of politics here in Spain. Now, I'm going to put this into a context for people that are not familiar with politics in this country, and basically there are four main political parties running. There are others, but there are four big parties. On the left, you've got Sumar, which is hard left. You've got the PSOE party, which is a moderate left. On the right, you've got the PP, which is moderate right. And then at the far right, or hard right, you've got the political party Vox, and let me tell you, some of the ideas that they put forward yesterday are absolutely incredible, but I'll tell you about those a little bit later in the video. But now I'm going to start with what hard left party Sumar has put on the table. But basically I can summarize in one or two sentences the ideas of both these parties. Sumar on the left is all about giving more and more social rights, more money to people that might need it, and Vox is all about taking things away, taking away rights and other things that Spain has gained over the last few decades. So let's have a look at some of the main ideas that Sumar is putting forward. Well, they're talking about creating jobs thanks to the green transition, making the economy greener and therefore creating more jobs. They're also talking about a universal inheritance of 20,000 euros for people when they turn 18. I don't think they're going to get the money in their hands when they turn 18. I think they're going to have to wait until they turn 23, but people that turn 18 this year will get their hands on that money if Sumar is elected. As I said, 20,000 euros. Now you might be asking the question, where is this 20 grand going to come from? Well, the idea is to tax the rich, get some extra 10 billion euros in taxes from the rich. I'm sure they'll be happy about that, and give that money to younger people, that young generation that have trouble getting started in this country. And they're going to provide advisors as well. They're going to make sure that people don't waste the money on PlayStation games and drugs and alcohol and parties and things like that. They're going to provide people that give advice to these young people so that they can set themselves up, start a business maybe, invest in the property market with that 20,000 euros, get their lives set up. Sumar is also saying that they're going to get the unemployment rate down to 7%, and they're going to reduce the working week down to 32 hours, something that's been done before in France. I don't think it was successful there, but that's the idea here in Spain. People working less for the same salary. And when it comes to taxes, especially the top bracket of taxes, they're going to increase that to around 52%. Not sure where it sits currently, probably around 48, 49%, that top bracket. But people that earn over a certain amount, 52%, so that's going to go up as well. And of course, the other usual things that you would expect from a left-wing party: more spending in health, more spending in education, public health, public education, of course. And for families that have children, a 200 euro check per month until the child turns 18. So those are some of the main ideas put forward by Sumar. There are more, but I want to move on to what Vox, on the other side of politics here in Spain, is proposing, and believe me, there's going to be some surprises. Now, before I talk about some of the ideas that Vox has put on the table, I'm going to first say that if you liked Spain back in the 1970s, if you are a nostalgic, then Vox's politics are for you. Because from what I have read, basically everything that Spain has achieved over the last 30 or 40 years, the progress that Spain has made, is going to be wound back if Vox gets into power. And let's have a look at some of their main ideas now. Now, the first thing that stands out to me on Vox's list of things that they're going to do if they get elected to make Spain great again is that they're going to get rid of the autonomous community system. They're talking about a unitary state where there is one government controlling the whole country. So the current system of 17 autonomous community governments, 2 autonomous cities and a central government is going to be scrapped, and we're going to have one central government like Spain had 50 or 60 years ago. So this idea that Spain has been developing to decentralize the country, give more power to the autonomous communities, as I said, is going to be scrapped. And of course, if Spain did go back to being a centralized country with only one government, that means that education and health will also be controlled by only one government and not the current setup where education and health are controlled by the autonomous communities. And that is something that Vox does not like. Now, another thing that would change were Vox to be elected is the relationship that Spain has with Morocco. That would take a turn for the worse because Vox is saying that one of the first things that they're going to do if they get elected is they're going to put a tariff on things that are imported from Morocco, for example, fruit and veg. Now, I'm not an expert, but I don't think that Spain can put its own tariffs on these products. I think that's a European Union thing, so I don't know what Vox is talking about there, but they've put it forward. Obviously they want to get publicity by saying that they're going to put tariffs on Moroccan imports. So relations between the two countries, I imagine, won't be too good if Vox gets elected. Now, when it comes to taxes, Vox is also promising big changes. If Sumar on the left side of politics wants to increase taxes, when it comes to Vox, it's all about lowering taxes. And if you're planning on having a big family with Vox, you're going to be in luck. Because what Vox is saying is the more children you have, the less tax you're going to pay. That's right, the more children you have, the less tax you're going to pay. So big families are going to be in luck with Vox. So what else is Vox promising to do? Well, when it comes to employment, they're going to get rid of the current labour law, the labour law that was set up over the last 4 years. That is going to be scrapped. That is one thing that they are talking about. When it comes to setting up a company, they're going to get rid of costs associated to setting up a company. They're going to make it easier to set up companies, apparently. They're going to bring corporate tax down to 15%. So some people could consider that a good idea. When it comes to social rights, Spain's abortion law, the current abortion law, is going to be scrapped. Vox will make it harder for people to get things like abortions. Also, when it comes to euthanasia, that law is going to be scrapped. So that's going to be gone as well. When it comes to education, they're going to have a single education system, so it doesn't matter whether you're in Andalusia, Madrid, the north of Spain, you're only going to do one university entrance exam, unlike the one that we currently have where there's 17 university entrance exams according to the autonomous community. So that is gone. When it comes to health, they're going to spend more on health. They're also going to reduce waiting times in hospitals, so it's going to be easy to get an operation, apparently, according to Vox. When it comes to housing, zero tolerance when it comes to squatting, so squatters watch out if Vox gets in. When it comes to equality, they're going to get rid of all the gender laws that have recently been set here in Spain. They are going to disappear. Spain's equality ministry will also disappear if Vox gets into power. And when it comes to immigration, as you would expect from a hard right party, they're going to expel or kick out every immigrant that commits an offence here in Spain, a criminal offence. They are not going to be tolerated. If you come from another country, myself for example, if I get caught doing something wrong, I will be sent back to my country of origin. Illegal immigrants are also going to be sent back to wherever they came from, and that's part of the problem, because nobody knows where a lot of people come from because they don't arrive here with passports or documentation, so nobody knows where they come from. So maybe they'll come up with an idea to send people to an African country, a single African country like other politicians have thought of in recent times, and basically that's what they're going to do. And they're going to shut down some immigration centres. Youth immigration centres are going to be shut down. So that is what Vox has on the table for Spain going forward. But some people could argue that if Vox gets into power, Spain is going to go backwards. So what do you think, forwards or backwards, if a party like Vox gets elected on the 23rd of July? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, what I will say about both of these political parties that I have spoken about this morning, Vox and Sumar, is that on their own they won't get into government. They won't be able to get enough votes to govern alone. They're going to have to go into coalitions with either the left, Sumar and the PSOE, and on the right, Vox and the Partido Popular. So what that means is that if Sumar gets into a coalition government with the PSOE, we're not going to see those Sumar policies in their hard form. We're going to see watered down versions, I believe. And that will also happen if Vox goes into a coalition government with the PP. We won't see those hardline policies, but most likely we will see watered down versions of some of those policies. I don't think that Spain is going to go back to a centralist country. I don't think that they're going to scrap the autonomous communities, because there's too much money being made in the autonomous communities by those regional and autonomous community governments. So I don't think they're going to scrap that. But some of the other things that I've mentioned might make their way into mainstream Spanish politics in watered down versions. But hey, that's just my opinion. Now I'm going to wrap the video up here. Let me know what you think about some of the ideas that have been put forward by the hard left side of politics here in Spain and the hard right side of politics here, Vox and Sumar. Let me know what you think. Will Spain go forward? Will Spain go backwards? Which ideas do you think are feasible? Which do you think are good ideas? Which do you think are bad ideas for this country? Let me know in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.